All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me for the NBC Game of the Week. This week's offering is Payoff Pitch, and it's going to the American League. The Milwaukee Brewers hosting those dreaded New York Yankees. Got the lineups here and the bench players that are available. Also have all the bullpen guys for both teams available there, so you can see who's available and who is not. I do have the game up on the computer. But I think I'll score it after the fact. I don't really want to mess up the flow too bad. What I will do is move this over here so we can see a little bit more. Hopefully see a little bit more. Because the payoff pitch cards, these are PDF cards, so they're a little bit bigger than the normal cards. So I'm wondering, I'm just going to do a test here. This is Teddy Higuera. He is a starting pitcher for the Brewers. So I want to make sure, I might need to raise my phone up a little bit because I don't know if it'll fit all the players. Ricky Henderson's card, I believe, gets cut off just a tad, or does it? Yeah, I can move this up just a tad. Sorry, I like to be meticulous. It's just one of those things. Let's see here. I think that will fit everything, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking at it on my own computer, and it looks like it's doing pretty well. Do have the dice tray, so we'll put that in play and make sure that shows up as well. I think I have room to go ahead and just put the bullpen guys over here. So in case you're curious, as the game moves along, that's who is available in the bullpen for both teams. I did play a practice game of payoff pitch yesterday, so got my feet wet. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but I wanted to make sure I had all the right charts and everything. I do have the new charts. There's the new defensive chart, which also has the injury chart, the new fatigued pitcher chart, the base running chart, which also has the ground out chart there, base stealing chart here, and infield in, corners in, and sacrifice bunt charts. Those are the three that I'll be referencing probably the most. At least that's when I played it, it did. When I played the practice game, it did. I have a whole bunch of the rare play charts, but of course, we won't use that until we get a rare play in there. Thank you, or hello. Oh, I said thank you. Hello to everyone who's here so far. Robert from RJL Network. BBBB, how are you doing? Utah Mike, Mr. Sports Time Machine, and Joe Solner. Appreciate you folks for spending part of your Saturday morning with me as we try to get this game going. Let's see here. I'm going to roll the dice once just as a practice roll to make sure they show up on camera okay. And let's see if they do or not. Looks like they do. You can see I do have the D20 that has the D10 that has the zeros, so that's going to help me out a bit. I do have off to the side, but not that readily available. But I do have the fast action cards, but I actually prefer the charts. So I'm going to be using the charts. I'm not going to use the fast action cards. I'm going to use the charts for all base running advancement, error checks, or fielding checks, or whatever. And the way I'm doing fielding checks is we're going to roll, and the D, I'll just do it so you can see when a fielding check comes up, you'll know what to expect. I'm going to use the D10s, and that's going to tell me what I'm checking for, either a range or an error check on a particular fielder. So if this was the roll, it would be a 59, which means we'd be checking the error of a third baseman. And then I'm going to re-roll all four again and compare the two D10s to the error section, and the two D6s will tell me if it's an error, if it's a one base error or a two base error based on the D6 roll, and if it's an out, what kind of an out it is. So I'm pretty comfortable with the charts. There's only three of them. They're two side or front and backs. So I do like the fast action cards to an extent, but I kind of just like the dice too. I'm always a dice and charts kind of guy. Hello, Replay Gamer. Good to see you. I've definitely watched some of your payoff pitch videos from a while back, just to make sure or at least hopefully thought I knew what I was doing. That was reading the rule book, watching you and RJL's old videos, and playing a practice game. That kind of got me going to hopefully now where we are, where I won't make a mistake, but I'm soon to say that it's kiss to death, so of course I will make a mistake. I do have the game scoring it on the score sheet. This is the printed score sheet from Payoff Pitch that has the ratings already filled in. From 1986, they have that. In the little replay that I'm using the Strat computer to sim, the Yankees are 6-3 and the Brewers are 4-5. Of course, it's early. But in 2 starts, Guidry is 2-0 with a 1.29 ERA. But Higuera is struggling. He's 1-1 with a 5.29 ERA, so he's hoping to turn it around. This was not an official game of the week on NBC, or it may have been. I don't know. There's no verification of that, but it was a day game, and I'm figuring, knowing NBC, they would probably put the Yankees on. So that's why I picked this game. It's not. I'm not trying to promote, New York out the yin yang. In fact, this will be the last time you see those two teams for a little while. Let me pull up my schedule for the next couple of weeks, and we'll see what we got. Next week's game is going to be on Stratomatic. It's going to be super advanced. I had been doing the advanced, of course, for the Demolition League, but I will go back to super advanced for next week's game, which was an official NBC game of the week, and that's the Chicago White Sox at Detroit. And then the following week will be Oakland at Boston on Status Pro. I decided to go Status Pro instead of APA because APA just doesn't really do it for me the way it does other people. It just, I don't know, just something about it. I mean, it's an okay game. It's just not my cup of tea. And then we'll be back on Inside Pitch for the following week in Wrigley Field, the Padres taking on the Cubs. So that's the way that's going to go for the next few weeks. That's the schedule. I've actually got everything scheduled for the whole year. I want to make sure every team is represented before the All-Star break. The only team that doesn't get represented before the All-Star break, there are 2 of them that miss out, Texas and Minnesota, but they will be the first 2 games after the All-Star break. So I want to make sure everybody gets in there. Then if we get down to August and September, I'll look at the standings on the sim and maybe switch over and pick out the games that seem to be more to the pennant race in the simulation. Although, like I said, it's not really a simulation. It's just I'm using a Strat computer to sim everything else in between these games. I am entering these games manually, so whoever wins this game will get credit for a win. I'm not really worried about stats per se. So that's where we're at. These are the PDF versions of 1986. They're a little bit bigger than the standard cards, so I'm going to make sure I have a little room here. I really wanted to use the Payoff Pitch board, but it's this old Stratomatic board seems to work out better for things like that. As I said, you can see the lineups here for both teams, who they have on the bench and who they have in the bullpen. So I think we're about ready to go. Well, BB, I thought the CBS always had the Masters. Did NBC ever have the Masters? I thought CBS always carried the Masters, but I could be wrong. I mean, I know in '86 CBS did, because I remember when Jack Nicklaus won it and Vern Lundquist was on the call for one of his big putts. I'm pretty sure CBS had it. Let's see. I think we're about ready to go. I think everything looks decent, I suppose. Unfortunately, when I do a live stream, it only comes up to, I think it only comes out to be a 720p, where if I record, it's a 1180 or whatever they call that thing. So that's one limitation. So hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully you can read everything pretty well. The fact that these are PDFs, they're bigger, so hopefully the numbers show up, a little bit better. All right, that's enough preamble. I'm trying to decide what to do on steals, whether I want to do auto steals or do a jump or whatever. I think I will just call the steals manually and not worry about the numbers on the D6 and see if the guy's got a rate that's better than that. I think I'm just going to do that manually. There is, and I will be using, also came with the new charts, the optional get a jump chart. So I think I will use that. Although with this game in the American League, the Brewers and Yankees, unless Ricky Henderson gets on, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of stealing going on because they're more bashers than anything else. Okay, so what I thought I'd do in the beginning, I might switch off after a couple of at-bats, But what I thought about doing at the beginning is trying to add a little bit of suspense to the rolls. So instead of rolling all 4 dice at one time, I'm going to roll the 2d6s to find out where we are on Higuera, and then see if Henderson can react to that. Sometimes I roll all 4 together. You guys know what the play is before I do, because it takes me a second to process that. So I'm going to try it this way. If it seems to bog the game down too much, then I'll switch over. So Ricky Henderson steps to the plate against Teddy Higuera, and the NBC game of the week. This game was played April the 19th, even though we're on April the 16th here in 2022. This is April 19th, 1986. And we are now underway. Higuera, that's a 5, so we're at the ballpark, so we're going right to County Stadium right away. And a right-handed hitter, Ricky Henderson, a 1-47, will be in his wheelhouse. Could Ricky go deep on the first pitch? It's a 16, so he's in the wheelhouse, or that was a wheelhouse, so we're going to re-roll now, and Ricky Henderson against a lefty, 1-41, will be a home run. Can he do it? He does. Ricky Henderson goes deep on the first play. First pitch from Higuera, and Ricky Henderson goes yard. Not like he hasn't done that before in his career. A leadoff home run for Ricky. And I can just hear that old TV video going now. Hey, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Ricky. So Ricky goes deep on the first play, and he didn't lose that number either. Here's Higuera trying to shake that off. That's a 9, which is tough. So we'll see if Randolph can handle a tough pitch. We're in this left-hand block. 1-19 is a strikeout. 20-35 is a hit. Anything else will be an out. And we'll get a 69, which turns out to be a ground out to second. So 1 away. Higuera gets the first out of the inning. Hello, Mr. Steve Tower. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Always enjoy seeing you. Unfortunately, if History Maker Baseball had an 86 season, I'd be using it in this replay, but they don't. So the only ones I have for 86 are the World Series teams. So unfortunately, they didn't have it. Had I done 87, I would have used History Maker for this, but unfortunately was unable to do so. Hello, Brad. How are you doing, sir? All right, so coming up now is Mr. Baseball, or Mr. I don't know if they call him Mr. Baseball, Donnie Baseball. That's what they call him, Don Mattingly. So he will be up with 1 out and 1 in. Higuera, 7 is patient. See, patient, he goes up to 71 to get on base. Let's see if Donnie can do it. He does. That's a 10, patient. That's going to be a walk. So Don Mattingly will draw the base on balls. And like I did last week, I've got my little runners here. In fact, I've got the Yankees in their road grays. So Mattingly will walk. So 1 out, 1 on, and 1 in. Let's put a run here so you know that New York's at least got a run so far. Hello, Tim, Cleveland Tribe fan, former Tribe fan. How are you? For Dave Winfield, see what Higuera can do. 9 is tough. Tough to Winfield. That is a 77 against the lefty, out of range. 77. Fly ball to center field. That's out number 2. So 2 down. And that'll send us to Gary Renicky. The Yankees, of course, using a lot of their right-handed hitting against the lefty Higuera. Yankees in 86 historically not good against lefties. So they had to sit guys like Pagliarulo and Griffey and Easler in favor of Renicky, Cotto, and Berra. So definitely weakened their lineup quite a bit. So 6 is tough, so we're going to Renicky for the tough roll. That's a 62, tough, just missed the base hit. 62 will be a fly to right and the inning's over. But the Yankees strike first on a leadoff home run from Ricky Henderson. And at the end of half an inning of play, it is the Yankees 1 and the Brewers coming to bat. And Mr. Ron Guidry is on the mound for the Yankees. And Paul Molitor will lead things off. For anybody who came in late, this is the lineup and the bench players, and the bullpen guys are available over here, so you can see who I have available and who I don't. And hopefully I will play this game without making a mistake. But if I do, I'm sure Replay Gamer or RJL or somebody will point it out. All right, here's Paul Molitor. 6 is tough on Guidry. And that's an 0-2. That's a strikeout. Boy, you get a tough, low number like that, and it's bad news for the batter. So that'll bring up Randy Reddy. Doesn't usually play left field all that much. In fact, he didn't play all that often to begin with. He only had 59 at-bats in 1986. He was only on the Brewers till June 2nd. But he's in there against the lefty. 8 is in play for Randy Reddy. He needs a 29 or less. And he didn't get it. 61 is going to be a fly to right, and that's 2 down. So 2 up and 2 down for Ron Guidry. And that'll bring up the venerable Cecil Cooper, first baseman. Or actually, he's the DH in this game. All right, 6 is tough. And yes, Steve, I'm still getting my feet wet on. I'm more comfortable recording, but this Saturday thing, it just kind of came into its own being to do a live stream. So I'm giving it a go, and hopefully not make any mistakes if I can. All right, Cooper, 77, and that's going to be a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So a 3 up and 3 down inning for Guidry, as he takes care of the Brew Crew in short order. At the end of 1, it's 1-0 Yanks. Higuera back out will be facing Henry Cotto. Henry Cotto, he only had 80 at-bats, but 57 of them came against lefties. Strangely enough, he hit better against righties, but they didn't know that in the beginning. Yes, BB, he was ever ready, wasn't he? You guys, does it feel like it's slowing it down if I do the 2 D6s and then do the 2 T10s, or would you rather see all of them flop down at the same time, or does it matter? Let's see, Henry Cotto, 6 on Higuera is tough. 30, and that's a strikeout. So Cotto goes down swinging. 1 away. And that'll bring up Mr. Dale Berra, Yogi's boy. 11, that's defense. Okay, so we're going to see what the defensive check is, and we're going to our chart. Like I said, I'm not going to use the fast action cards. I'm using the chart. The 2 D10s are going to tell us whether it's a range play or an error check. That is a 18. So an 18 says we are in the range of the shortstop. We're checking shortstop for range. Shortstop of the Brewers is Ernest Riles. His range is a D. Not very good. So we go to our ballpark card. On the range check, 1 to 56 is a hit. 50, 79, 9, he'll make the play. I'm going to roll all of the dice rather. So that's an 0-4, so that obviously gets through for a hit. The 2d6 is total a 6. So 6, the base hit on a 6 is a single. So a base hit, nope, don't have to worry about runner advancement. It's just going to be a base hit. Now this is interesting. This says it's a double. 6 says a double. So not only was it a hit, but it's a double. But that seems kind of odd that would be the hit. But that says first baseman or third. Oh, it's hit to the shortstop. My bad. Not the guy batting, but who it was hit to. So it is a single. See, I told you I'd mess up. So, but hopefully that got fixed out. So Dale Berra. How about that? Dale Berra of all people. Dale Berra gets himself a 1-out single. Not exactly somebody I thought would get a base hit right away, but he did. So Dale Berra, but that's how I'm doing the defensive and range checks and so forth. So Dale Berra, and now my pen wants to run out of ink. Boy, I tell you, it was running fine before the video started, but now it's like it doesn't work. It doesn't affect the video, it just affects my score sheet. So to go for a backup pencil, I guess, or maybe a backup pen. I'll find something. I guess I can just use a pencil, but this pen chose that very moment to do that. All right, I guess that's a lesson learned. Always have 2 pens at the ready. All right, so I needed a pen in the pen, didn't I? All right, here is Butch Weiniger. And Dale Berra is at first. We'll check Higuera. 7, which is patient. Patient 82, that's definitely out of range. So a patient 82 is going to be a ground ball to second. The original roll was a 7. His double play range is a 9, but his is only a 6. So it will not be a double play. It will just be a fielder's choice on a 4-6 ground out. Berra is eliminated at second, and Butch Weiniger takes over as the runner at first as he hustled and beat that relay for a 4 to 6 fielder's choice if you're scoring at home. And if you are scoring at home, you may need some therapy. Yes, we do, Robert. We do. I'm glad the folks are here, and hopefully I don't screw things up and give you guys an enjoyable game. All right, so Bobby Meacham riding the Columbus to New York train in the 80s. Steps up against Higuera. 3 is tough. And that is a 0-1. That's definitely a strikeout, no doubt about that. He struck him out to end the inning. So Bobby Meacham is out of there. We go to the bottom of the second. Haven't been moving these tokens like I should be, have I? All right, I always forget something. All right, bottom of the second we go. Ron Guidry back out after his 1-2-3 inning. And he'll be facing Yount, Billy Joe Robideau, and Rob Deere. All righty. Yep, I got a mechanical pencil right here too as well, Steve. So I can do either or, I guess. All right, so that's a good point, Robert. That is a good point. All right. Maybe we all need this. This is our therapy, though. We need therapy, and this is our therapy. That's the way I look at it. All right, here's Yount. Start off the bottom of the second against Guidry. 11. We're back to defense again. Let's see what we're checking. 88. So on the defensive chart, 88, we are checking the error range of the error rating of the left fielder. In this case, the left fielder for the Yankees is Cotto, and his error is a 5. So he's the best you can get. 1 to 33 will be an error. Anything else, he will make the catch. It's a 97, so he makes the catch. It's a 10, which is a deep fly to left, but nobody's on base, so it doesn't matter. But it could have if somebody had been on. That's why we rolled it. So Yount, almost to the warning track, but not quite. And here's one of the bigger busts of the late 80s, Billy Joe Robideau, much hype, but very much in the realm of a bust. 10 is ballpark. See if we can go to the wheelhouse or not. 56 for a lefty. That's going to be in play. So we'll go in play Robideau. Only a 1 to 29 will do it. Anything else, he's going to be out. That's a 31. He just missed it. 31 is actually a pop up to second. So he pops it right up in the air. And Mr. Randolph puts it away very easily for out number 2. All right, that brings up Rob Deere. Kind of the second coming of Dave Kingman with all the strikeouts and home runs. He struck out 179 times but hit 33 home runs. Guidry, 3 is tough. That's bad news on a tough. 1 to 72, he will strike out. And he does, 0-4, so no problems there for Mr. Guidry, as he has gone 6 up and 6 down. And if he does have a perfect game through 7 innings, I will not pull him, Robert. He will be out there as long as it takes. I will not do a Dave Roberts, so rest assured on that one. All right, so Teddy Higuera comes back out for the top of the third, and it's going to be Ricky. He's responsible for the only run of the game, which was the leadoff home run that he got off of Higuera. So let's see what we can do here. And that was on a ballpark result. Higuera, 2 is in the wheelhouse. Boy, Ricky has another chance to do it again. Unbelievable. A 1 to 41, and it's going to be gone. That's a Suidites. We'll re-roll that. That's a 55. So it won't be a home run, but it will be a leadoff single for Ricky Henderson. And he may be looking to run, trying to show his power and his speed. So Ricky Henderson is aboard. Now, if we go to the optional jump chart, that's what I like to use for stealing bases. And let's look at the hold rating on Higuera, which is a 5. And Ricky, his attempt is is a 7 to get a lead. So we go to 7 and a 5. 5 hold rating and a 7 run rating. Go right here, a 0 to 53 on the D10s, and he will attempt. 57 or higher, he's got to hold. 54 or 56, he can attempt with a poor jump, which I probably wouldn't do. So he needs a 0 through 53. And he didn't get it, so he's got to hold. Higuera held him on tight, wouldn't let Ricky get that jump. And now we go to Willie Randolph. Now, would Randolph consider bunting? He's an A bunter. Boy, the Yankees, though, I don't think they really play small ball. I think they're going to go ahead and swing away. Could hit and run, but I think we'll just go ahead and swing away. 4 is in play. 66. 66 is a ground ball to second. This could be a double play, and the first two dice were a 4. His double play rating's a 7. His is a 6. There you go. Maybe I should have hit and run. But instead, it's a 4-6-3 double play, twin killing, even though the Yankees were involved. 2 quick outs. Ricky not happy about it. Wasn't happy about not getting the jump, and now he's not happy about being part of a double play. But Higuera says, live with it. Although you couldn't understand him, because I think it was in Spanish. All right, here's Don Mattingly. Donnie Baseball walked his first chance. 8 is tough for Mattingly. 0-4, that's going to get him on a strikeout. Only struck out 1 to 14, but that double 0 there did him in. So even Mattingly will strike out once in a while. Can't avoid it. And that's going to end the inning. After a promising start with a leadoff single, the Yankees with that double play and strikeout move quietly. Go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Yankees. And we get to the bottom part of the order. Numbers 7, 8, and 9, Riles, Gantner, and Charlie Moore against Guidry, who has retired all 6 he has faced. So here's Ernie Riles. 7 is in play. And that's an 18. In play 18 is a base hit. So the first hit of the game for the Brewers. As soon as I talking about how Guidry's retired 6 in a row, we get a base hit. So Ernest Riles gets a leadoff single. Ernie Riles. It's only a D for a stealing, so I'm not going to try anything there. Jim Gantner, the batter. Guidry, 4 is tough. Gantner, tough, 66. And that's going to be a fly to left. If it had been a 67, it would have been a chance for a double play, but 66 says fly to left, and Gantner is retired. And here is Charlie Moore, the catcher. Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore. 10 is ballpark, so we're going to County Stadium for a right-hander. 1 to 47 is his wheelhouse. He got his wheelhouse, so Charlie Moore against Guidry, 1 to 19, and he will hit a 2-run homer to give the Brewers the lead. It's a 66, though, misses everything. It's going to end up being a ground ball to second. Could be a double play, but the first roll was a 10, so most likely it's going to be a fielder's choice, and that's exactly what it's going to be. It is going to go 4 to 6 for a fielder's choice. Riles is removed from the base paths, and Charlie Moore hustled and beat that throw to prevent an inning-ending double play. So Moore is at first base rather with 2 down, and that's going to go back to the top of the order for Paul Molitor. And now, since I did the first wave that way, I think I'm going to go ahead and roll all of them together. All right, we got an 8, which is in play 20. In play 20, that's a base hit. So now we're using the charts. I'm not using the fast action cards. We're doing the charts, or at least I'm doing the charts. And we're going to look at the base running rules. Lead die is they're both 4s, so we're going to count this as a lead die of 4. Plus there are 2 outs, so that's something else to think about as well. Moore runs at a 6, so he automatically will get the extra base. I didn't even have to check the chart, because with 2 outs, if you're 6 or higher, you get the extra base. And that's exactly what he did. So Molitor singles to put runners on the corners with 2 down, so I didn't even have to check the thing. But if I did, on a 4, it'd be first base plus choice. But since there are 2 outs, he gets that boost from being a 6 or better runner. And Charlie Moore, despite being a catcher, runs well. He's also an outfielder. So he's on. Runners on the corners from Molitor. I think with 2 outs, I don't think you're going to try to steal. You want to get the base hit here as best possible. The runner's already in scoring position at third base, so you really don't want to take that away. Guidry's first real trouble has to go to the stretch here against Randy Reddy. That's a 9, which is tough. 67, and that's going to be a ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. So Guidry pitches out of that jam, and Brewers leave 2 on base. Come away empty-handed. Not what they wanted, obviously. But Guidry got the job done. So after 3 complete, it's still 1-0 Yankees. That home run from Ricky Henderson is holding up. Now here is Mr. Winfield. Flew to center his first chance. See what he can do here against Higuera. That's an 8, which is tough. 66. And that's going to be a ground out to second. So easy start to the 4th inning for Mr. Higuera. That'll bring up Gary Renicky. Again, he's in there because of the lefty on the mound. In fact, he had 117 at-bats against lefties, only 19 against righties. Although, ironically, he hit better against righties, but limited sample size. But that's one where, and I probably shouldn't beat the dead horse, but that's one where inside pitch would rate him as a generic card, because you have to have 50 at-bats from both sides of the plate to be rated for splits, which I don't agree with, but, you know, what are you going to do? All right. Gary Renicky. Got off the soapbox quicker on that one. All right, Higuera, 6, tough, 53. That's a base hit for Gary Renicky against the lefty, so he fought that one off. Fought off that tough pitch and stroked a base hit. So Gary Renicky is aboard with 1 out. Brings up Henry Cotto. Henry Cotto was up. Renicky's not going to go anywhere. Higuera, that's a 2, which is wheelhouse. 74 though, so Henry Cotto's wheelhouse comes nowhere near that. 74 is actually going to be a fly to center, and that's 2 away. Had he been at third base, that would have been an automatic sacrifice fly on a wheelhouse check, but at first base, that doesn't come into play. And now here's Yogi's kid, Dale Berra. That's a 7, which is patient 37. Patient 37, and Berra will draw the 2-out walk. That'll put 2 on with 2 outs for the catcher, Butch Weiniger. So now Renicky will stroll up to second base. Berra will take his place at first. And Mr. Weiniger, switch hitting catcher, will be up. That's an 8, which is tough. 31. 31. His wild pitch rating is a 30, so he misses the wild pitch. 31 instead on a tough is a strikeout. So Higuera just managed to miss throwing a wild pitch and got out of it. Yankees leave 2 on, come away empty-handed. And that's going to do it in the top of the 4th for the Pinstripers. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0. Guidry looking for more runs, but not getting them, so he's going to have to pitch about as well as he can. And he's got to face Cecil Cooper, former Red Sox first baseman from the World Series in '75. Cooper. Hello, Brandon. How are you doing, sir? 7 is in play. 76. That's way out of range. 76 is a fly to center. And Cooper, a can of corn, 1 away. Brings up Robin Yount. And now Tabby wants to get up here, and I'm really trying to prevent that. Nobody wants to see. Well, I don't have enough room to get you up here, Tabby, for one thing, so you're just going to have to stay down there. Okay, Guidry, 10. Ballpark. Oh, that's a rare play. Rare play, so I'll get to go to my rare play charts for the first time. Rare play. And I believe that does the 00, you don't, if it's ballpark, I think you still go to the rare play chart if I'm not mistaken. If I'm doing it wrong, somebody tell me, but I think that's what you do. So the rare play chart bases are empty. So let me get to my bases empty. Rare play chart. Bases empty. And it was a ballpark. So let's go to the ballpark bases empty. Because all these rare plays are done by the result on the card. Ballpark or wheelhouse. Here we go. All righty. So we got the ballpark or wheelhouse rare play. Runners on base. Actually, runners are not on base. Where's the bases empty one for that? Base is empty. Not bad. Let me get the bases empty. I'll make sure I got the right chart. Here we go. Base is empty, ballpark or wheelhouse. And we'll roll 2d10s and see what the rare play chart has to tell us. It is a 14. 14 says batter smashes a line drive off the pitcher. Catcher retrieves ball and throws out batter with run rating of 6 or less. 7 or more is safe with a single check pitcher for injury. Run rating on Yount is a 7, so he will beat this out for a base hit. To add insult to the potential injury, he beat it out for the base hit because he runs at a 7 or better. So Yount gets the base hit. Guidry kind of limping around back there. We're going to check his injury rating. Injury rating for Guidry is normal. So we go to our injury chart. Now I got to find the injury chart. I know it's on here somewhere. It's the only problem when you have lots of charts. You got to figure out where. Here we go. Injury chart right here. So the injury chart, normal, 0 through 30, he's okay. 31 or higher, he's got to come out of the game. So anything above a 31 and Guidry will be lifted, and the Yanks will have to go to that bullpen right away. He's got to go, 94, so that's it for Guidry. He's out of there. He gets injured. So we can't close the book on Guidry because the runner, Yount, is his responsibility, but Guidry will go 3 1/3. And we will need a new pitcher for the Yankees. And their bullpen is not exactly stellar, but they probably need some length, so we'll see who they got that is a long relief pitcher. They have John the Count Montefusco, and let's see who else do they have as a long reliever. They have Bob Shirley. Who's coming up? Robideau is coming up, followed by Deere and Riles and Gantner. Wonder which way you want to go with this. They're going to go with Bob Shirley, the lefty. So Bob Shirley. Surely we can go with Bob Shirley. So he's on to take the place of the injured Guidry, but he does have as much time as he needs to warm up. So it was either him or Montefusco, and neither one of them were what I would call stellar choices. But with some lefties coming up for the Brew Crew, in fact, 3 of the next 4 are left-handed, so that's why I went with the lefty, Bob Shirley. But he's definitely, they're looking to get several innings out of Shirley. He does have the long relief, which means he can go 2 innings for sure before he gets tired. Then starting the 3rd inning, we got to check his effectiveness. So Shirley now will be facing Robideau with Yount at first and 1 out. All right, Steve, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it, sir. Appreciate you stopping by and spending a part of your morning with us. But, of course, everything gets in the way. Life gets in the way. Real life stuff, chores and stuff has to get in the way. All right, so here is Robideau. Shirley with the pitch. 6 is patient 80. Patient 80 for Robideau against a lefty is going to be a base hit. So how about that? Billy Joe Robideau has a base hit in the high number of his patient result. The lead die is a 2. So we'll check base runner advancement on a lead die of 2. And on a lead die of 2, runner on first base gets 2 bases. So how about that? Yount will scoot over to 3rd, and Billy Joe Robideau is aboard. Runners are at the corners with only 1 out for Rob Deere. Do they play the double play game, or do they play for infield end? They're up by 1, so I think you have to play back here. Six is patient 71, and that's a walk. So all of a sudden, Bob Shirley get knocked around, a single and a walk, and the bases are now loaded with 1 out for Ernest Riles. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Riles has a chance to give the Brewers the lead with a base hit. Certainly could tie it at the worst, but certainly Robideau, if he gets the right number, can score from second on a base hit as well. So infield double play depth. 10 is in play. 45. 45 in play is a ground ball back to the pitcher, but that's a 10, so the double play will not work on that. Surely, though, I think, is the pitcher considered to be in? That's a good question. Let me think on that for a second. Maybe somebody else can give me their opinion on that. But I'm thinking, let's see here, ground outs. Let's see here. Does it say anything about ground out to the pitcher? If balls hit the pitcher, he looks back the lead runner and throws to first for the out. That's if it's there. So let's see, does it give about bases loaded? All situations. I'm going to say his only play is at first base. I guess that's because it was a 10. So to me, that means, well, 10 means fielder's choice, though, doesn't it? So I'm going to say that he tried to turn the double play and it didn't quite work. They do retire Deere at second base for the second out. Yount will score. Robideau goes to third. And the base runner Riles beat the relay throw to prevent the double play. Hopefully I did that correctly with that 10 there. And so that ties the ball game. There are now 2 outs, but the game is now tied on the fielder's choice, going 1-6. Yount scores. Robideau is out at. Robideau goes to third. Deere's out at second base. So hopefully I did that correctly. We're now tied at a run apiece, but Shirley not out of the woods yet, as he's got to face another lefty, Jim Gantner. Whoops, wrong card. Let me get Jim Gantner in here. Even though they're PDFs, I haven't used them much, so the cards do kind of stick together a little bit. They are on a 110-pound card stock, and I did corner around them, but they still have a tendency to do that. Shirley, 12 is in play, 32, but is 32 a wild pitch? No, it's not. 32 in play is just out of range. 32 will be a pop out to second, and that's going to end the inning. So the Brewers have tied the ball game. And that's going to be pop out the second to end it. So we go to the fifth, 1-1. So now Shirley is the pitcher of record, and so is Higuera. So Higuera comes back out, the score now being tied, so I'm sure he likes that. Then we start at the top of the fifth with Bobby Meacham. Meacham struck out his first chance. 8 is tough 45. Tough 45, he struck him out again. So Meacham, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. And that's going to send up Mr. Ricky. Homer and a single. 2 at-bats against Higuera. That is a 6, which is tough 21. He's going to strike out this time. So Higuera's got the strikeout pitch going. 2 up and 2 down for Willie Randolph. 8 is tough 39. Tough 39 is just out of range. 39 will be a pop out to third. And Molitor will put that away easily for the final out. 3 up and 3 down go the Yankees here in the fifth. Go to the bottom of the fifth, still tied at 1. Bob Shirley back out, but is on shaky ground. He'll be facing Moore, Molitor, and Reddy, 3 righties. So we'll see if he can hang against these right-handers. That's a 7, which is tough 59. Tough 59 out of range. That's a fly to right field. And there's 1 away. And Robert, please check me. Make sure I'm not doing anything, making any mistakes. Make sure I'm playing it correctly. Hope I haven't made any mistakes. Here's Molitor. That's an 8. Tough 34, and that's a strikeout. So Molitor out on strikes for his second strikeout of the game. Brings up Randy Reddy, as Shirley seems to have settled in. At least the Yankees are hoping so. That's a 9, which is in play, but that's an 11. In play 11 is a base hit for Randy Reddy. So was ready for that pitch and got a base hit, 2-out single. Not going to try to go anywhere. Here's Cecil Cooper. Coop. Flown out to center twice. He's trying to hit it somewhere else. That's an 8, which is tough. 90. Tough 90 will be a ground ball to second. So it's an 8, which means it would have been a fielder's choice. So they'll say the second baseman, Randolph, goes the short way to Meacham at short for a 4-6 fielder's choice. Not that it matters. The only thing that matters is we're through 5 innings, and the score is tied at a run apiece. That might be all for Shirley. We shall see how long he can go. Fatigue for Higuera is a 7, so he's in good shape here, being that we're just in the top of the 6th. So he's in good shape for that. Everything I've seen, they have 2 broadcast teams. They have Vin and Joe is like the A team, and Bob Costas and Tony Kubek is the B team, or the alternate game. So those are the ones I have seen so far. They may have had when I wanted a game off, they might have used somebody else, but that's primarily what they use. All right, here's Mattingly, and Mattingly is 0 for 1. He's walked and struck out. That's a 6, which is tough. 0-6, he's going to strike out again. Uncharacteristic for Mattingly to strike out twice. But he only struck out 35 times and over 600 at-bats. But you get those low D10 rolls, they come back to bite you. So here's Winfield. That's a 10. In play 50, though. In play 50 for Winfield is going to turn into a ground ball to third. Molitor will flip it over to Robideau for out number 2. And that'll bring up Gary Renicky. Renicky did single his last time up, but was stranded on second base. That is a 4, which is in play 28. In play 28, just missed it by 1 number. 28 is going to be a pop out to second, and the inning is over. So Renicky couldn't catch a break there. But Higuera has settled in. He has now retired 7 in a row. And since that leadoff homer by Ricky Henderson, he's really shut down the Yankees. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, and we've got righty, lefty, righty. Do we keep with Shirley? I think they're gonna make the pitching change. So Bob Shirley's day is done. He ends up going inning and 2/3, it looks like. And he's going to give up, let's see, no runs, so because the run was charged to Guidry. And they're going to bring in the Count, John Monofusco, from the bullpen. John the Count Monofusco. And he'll be on to face Robin Yount to start off the bottom of the 6th, tied at a run apiece. So what I forgot to do was start crossing off these guys as I've used them. So Shirley's been used and Monofusco has been used from the bullpen. So you can see what we have left. They have Fisher, Whitson, Scurry, and Righetti left in the bullpen. Yankees are carrying 6 bullpen pitchers, whereas the Brewers are carrying only 5, but the Brewers have an extra position player. So that's why there's the difference. Hello, Tony. How are you doing? All right, Robin Yount against the Count. And that is a 7, which is tough, and it's an 0-2, so Yount down on strikes, and the Count made that pitch count with a big strikeout, and here comes Billy Joe Robideau. That's a 6, which is in play, 73. That's a fly to center. Out number 2 brings up Rob Deere. Seven is tough, 94, and that's going to be a fly to left to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Monofusco. And we go to the 7th. We go to the 7th, tied at a run apiece, and this is the fatigue inning for Higuera. But he's only allowed 1 run, so we don't have to go to the dreaded fatigue pitcher card just yet. But Higuera will be on to face Cotto, Berra, and Weiniger. Cotto 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, flew to center in the 4th. That's a 10, which is in play. 84, though, that's way out of range. That's a ground ball to short. And handled by Ernest Riles. One away. That'll bring up Dale Berra. And I was expecting a little bit more offense than this, but they kind of stalled a little bit. 10 is in play again. 85, that's a ground ball to short. Again, Riles, Johnny on the spot for 2 quick outs. And that's going to bring up the switch hitting catcher Weiniger. That's a 7, which is patient, but it's a 96. So unfortunately for Weiniger, he will fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. That's one of the things about payoff pitch. If you get a 96, the guy's out no matter what happens, pretty much, with few rare exceptions. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. It is a 7th inning stretch time, and I'm going to stand up and stretch myself. Sing your Take Me Out to the Ball Games or Roll Out the Barrel or whatever they sang in Milwaukee. And in about 30 seconds, we'll be ready for the bottom of the 7th. I'm going to stand up and stretch it. It will be Riles, Gantner, and Moore, bottom of the order for the Brew Crew. Let me stretch a little bit. Getting older, you got to stretch. Plus, I was playing a lot of the games offline this morning for the Demolition League to get caught up. And so it's a lot of sitting, so I want to be able to stand up and stretch a little bit, not get so stiff. Unfortunately, I was kind of sorry that Guidry got hurt. I wanted to see him pitch a little longer, but the rare play came up and got to follow it. Okay. I think Tabby's asleep. I don't think she's stretching. I think she's asleep. All right, so Ernest Riles will step to the plate. Riles singled and reached on a fielder's choice, 1 for 2. The count with the pitch, 9 is patient, 10, that's going to be a base on balls. So leadoff man is on, which is usually dangerous, especially via a walk. A leadoff walk usually always comes back to bite the pitching team. Now let's check Gantner. Is he a good bunter? He's a D bunter, so obviously he's not very good. So we're just going to have him swing away. And the Brewers are hoping he can do something with it. Yeah, Tenacious Earl was my inspiration for that. I thought it was a great idea when he did it. And so I hope I'm not stepping on his toes by doing it myself. That's why I intentionally picked 10 teams that were not in his league so that it wouldn't be, overkill or whatever. Looks like Robert has We Are Family Pirates against the Cardinals tonight on Inside Pitch, the 1979 pennant race. So you can check out the We Are Family, and you can see the co-MVPs, Willie Stargell and Keith Hernandez. All right, here is Gantner to bat with Riles at first and nobody out against the count. 7 is tough. 36, tough 36. That's a base hit. How about that? A base hit. We'll check the base runner advancement chart. Lead die is a 1. So lead die 1 says the runner on first gets 1 base. So Riles will have to stop at second base. But now all of a sudden, 2 are on without anybody out. And now the Yankee bullpen is stirring again with some left-handed action. Charlie Moore steps to the plate. He's also a D bunter, so not very good. So we're going to pass him up for a bunt and just have him swing away against the count. Infield double play depth. That's an 8, which is patient 55, and that's a base hit. Patient 55 is a base hit. Lead die is a 4, and with a runner on second, the lead die of 4 is first base plus choice, but with nobody out, they're not going to force anything. They're going to go ahead and load the bases against the count, and the count might be down for the count. We'll have to see, because now they're having all kinds of issues. Charlie Moore has been gets his first hit of the ball game. Bases are now loaded with nobody out. You got to figure the infield is going to have to come in, you would think, unless they think they can get a run against their bullpen. Maybe try to minimize the damage. I don't know. But that's going to be all for the count. He's going to be out for the count. And he's going to leave, and they're going to bring in Brian Fisher, the right-hander. He's their last right-hander. Well, they got Witzman also, but they want somebody that can try to get him out of a jam. And they're hoping that, Brian Fisher can be that guy. That's what they're hoping for. So Fisher is on with the bases loaded and nobody out, talking about a envious position to be in. But that's what they are asking him to do. So Fisher will be on. In the 1986 season, in 62 games, he was 9-5 with a 4.93 ERA and 6 saves. Double play rating's a 9. Actually, they're playing back for the double play to try to prevent a big inning. His double play rating's a 9. His is an 8. They're going to lay back for the double play. They need outs badly. That's an 8, which is tough. 0-7, that's a strikeout. They'll take that as well. Fisher, a big strikeout. Now double play gets him out of the inning. Randy Reddy is up, but he will be called back. And now Tabby has joined me again. But she's on the floor, which is a good thing. But Randy Reddy was in there to face the right-hander, so now, or face the left-hander. But now that the righty is in the game, Randy Reddy will be lifted. And if we look at the bench for the Brew Crew, they can use Ogilvy, Manning, Felder, or Householder. They got all these choices to take over in left field. Question is, who do they want to go to? Let's see who had the best average. They're going to go to Ben Ogilvy. Ben Ogilvy will pinch hit for Randy Reddy, and he will stay in the game to play left field as well. And his rating is a C46. Runs at a 4, and it's a 2F on the steal. But he's not in there to run, he's in there to hit. Bases are loaded, 1 out. Infield still at double play depth. His double play rating is a 7. So we are now at Ben Ogilvy. So Ogilvy's the batter against Brian Fisher. That's a 5 in play, 84. 84 is a fly to center. Almost got the double play chance, but it's a fly to center. The question is it a sacrifice fly? We go to our charts and look at our fly ball out chart. The result 5 was in play. So let's see what it says here. The run on third base, let's see. Doesn't say anything about all the pitch results. The run on third base scores if his run rating is 7 or higher. Ryle's run rating is a 7, so he will score on the sacrifice fly. It was as simple as that. Didn't have to make it more complicated than it was. Sacrifice fly to center field, and the Brew Crew take the lead as Riles, with that speed of 7, comes in to score. It is now the Brewers 2 and the Yankees 1. There are 2 outs, and Cecil Cooper the batter. So big pinch hit sacrifice fly by Ben Ogilvy gets it done. Fisher 9 is tough 58. Tough 58 is a ground ball to third to end the inning. We'll just say they went to first for the out. I'm not going to really worry about that right now. It's not important. But what is important is the Brew Crew have taken the lead by the score of 2-1. Now Higuera has retired quite a few in a row, so he's going to stay out there. No sense pulling him at the moment. Up for the Yankees, it'll be Meacham, Henderson, and Randolph. But I think they're going to pull Meacham back and bring in a pinch hitter. Read the first paragraph to make sure. First paragraph doesn't say anything about, it only talks about wheelhouse and patient. And runner going from second to third. It says all other pitch results, the run on third scores, it was run rating 7 or higher. And he has a chance to score, he can attempt to score a choice on a 6 or less. So it says if it's wheelhouse or patient, the batter hits a deep fly, it's an automatic sacrifice fly. So wheelhouse or patient, it's an automatic sacrifice fly. Anything else, if he's 7 or higher, it's a sacrifice fly, according to what I'm reading there. All right, so we need a pinch hitter for Bobby Meacham. And against the lefty Higuera, who do they go to off the bench? All their pinch hitters are lefties, pretty much. And they don't hit well against lefties. So, boy, I don't even know if you want to change it here. I guess they'll go to Mike Fischlin because he's a righty, although he doesn't hit lefties all that well either. He's a little bit better defensively. So they will bring in Mike Fischlin. All these guys, big left-handed hitters, just don't hit lefties well at all. So Fischlin will take over as a shortstop as well as pinch hitting here in the top of the 8th of a 2-1 game. So Fischlin is on, trying to get that pinch hit. 12 is in play, 27, and he gets that pinch hit. So how about that? Mike Fischlin, a pinch hit single. Not exactly the guy you would think of off the bench to get a pinch hit single, but he did it. Mike Fischlin. He was at the back of my bench. So, but against the lefty, he's in there. And now the Brewers have right-handed action in their bullpen. They have Mark Clear, the righty, in the bullpen. He was their closer. So Clear is in the bullpen, loosening for the Brew Crew. But Ricky Henderson is up. And you got to leave Fischlin in the game to run because A, these guys aren't very fast, and B, there's nobody else to play short. So I guess you could put Pagliuca at third and move Barrett to short, but they're going to leave Fischlin in the game. Fischlin runs at a 6, so that's not bad at all. Might as well leave him in there. All right. Ricky Henderson against Higuera. 9 is tough. 0-8 struck him out. Big strikeout for Teddy Higuera. 1 down. Here's Willie Randolph. That's a 10, which is in play 0-1 against the lefty. In play 0-1 is a double. So how about that? Willie Randolph with a double. Will it score the run? Lead die is a 4. We'll go to our base running chart on a lead die of 4 with a runner at first base, rather, is on a double. 2 bases plus choice. So do they want to try Fischlin? They're going to hold Fischlin up because you got Mattingly and Winfield coming up, so you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. But they've got second and third, and that's going to be it for Teddy Higuera. Or do they leave him in against Mattingly? They might leave him in against Mattingly, but they got Clear ready for Winfield. With 1 out, second and third, they will go ahead and let Mattingly hit. Awful tempted to walk Mattingly, but that would put, do you really want to do that is the question, because you got Winfield right behind him. So you're just basically in a tight spot if you're Higuera. Infield for the Brew Crew is in. They are in. That's a 7, which is patient. 27, and he walked him unintentionally. So Mattingly gets the unintentional walk, and that will officially do it for Higuera. He will be exiting the ball game. As he leaves, he can win it. He can also lose it. He's going to end up going 7 1/3 innings, and they're going to bring in Mark Crystal Clear, their closer, and ask him to do almost the impossible. Base full of Yankees. They got a base full of Yankees with only 1 out, and the big man Winfield coming up. So Mark Clear on the season. 5-5, 2.20 ERA, and 16 saves. So Clear is the man that's trying to get them out of the inning. Now his double play rating is a 7. Winfield's an 8, so they're going to play back for the double play. They got a good chance to turn 2, and they're going to try it. So they're back for the double play. Four is tough. 15 struck him out. So Clear gets the strikeout on Winfield for out number 2. Coming up now is Gary Renicky, but he will be called back because with the righty in there, they're going to their big left-handed hitters. Renicky was the DH, so it can pretty much use anybody. It even opens up Easler, and I think that's who they're going to go to is the hitman, Mike Easler. He will pinch hit and take the place of Renicky. So Easler is your batter. Bases loaded, 2 down, and the pinch hitter, Mike Easler, the hitman, is up. And the biggest of spot, top of the 8th, 2-1 Brew Crew, but the Yankees bases loaded and 2 outs. Easler, the batter. That's a 5, which is patient, 47 against a right-hander. That's a base hit for Easler. That will at least tie the game. The runner on second base, Randolph, has a run rating of 6, so with 2 outs, he will score automatically as well. So that will give the Yankees the lead as both those runs score. A big 2 RBI single for Mike Easler. Randolph scores, and Fishland scores to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead. Let's see what Mattingly does. Mattingly runs at a 6, so he gets 2 bases with 2 outs automatically. Runners are at the corners in a big spot. The hitman comes through against Clear. Mike Easler gets the big base hit. Gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead. And the stadium groans, as RJL would say. Stadium groans. All right, Cotto, left fielder. He's got good defense, so they're going to leave him in the game. They're not going to pinch hit for him. They like his defense. So they will leave him in there. Clear, trying to get out of this. That's a 2, which is defense, 44. So we go to our defensive chart, 44, and see what we're dealing with. 44 on the defensive check. And a 44 is an error check on Robideau. Robideau is a 1, which is the worst you can have. So 1 to 65, it'll be an error, and the Yankees will score another run. 66 or higher, he will somehow make the play. It's a 54, so it will be an error. That's a 10. So an error on a first baseman, a 10, is a 1-base error. It will allow the run to score. Mattingly comes in to score. Easler goes to second, and Cotto will take first base on the error. Keeps the inning going. Robideau with the boot. Mattingly scores. Easler goes to second base. It is now 4-2 Yankees. And I knew I shouldn't have wrote that 2 in there in pen. I should have known that if I did that, they would score a third run. So I need to get the old trusty white out here. Correct that. They are now 3. And I'm not even going to write the 3 there because they might score a fourth one. So we're not going to do that either. So Dale Berra is in there. But the damage has already been done against Clear, for sure. 2 is defense again, 56. And 56 on the defense is an error check on the second baseman, Gantner. Gantner is a 3, which means a 1 to 48. He will make an error. Could it be back-to-back errors? 1 to 48, it will be back-to-back errors. It is. 21's an error. That's a 6. And a second baseman error on a 6 is a 1-base error. So another boot. And Clear's not getting any help from his defense either. So blame his pitching and now blame the defense. As now the bases are loaded again. Consecutive errors on the play. I think it's the second time in a row of roll 2s. That doesn't really happen all that often. And now Butch Weiniger is up there. Bases are loaded, 2 down. 4-2 Yanks. As 3 runs are already in. They're looking to blow it open right here. Clear's your best you got. You got to stick with him. That's a 3, which is tough, 62. And he finally gets out of the inning. It's a ground ball to short to end it. But a 3 spot for the Yankees. 3 spot for the Yankees. And they take a 4-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th inning we go. Fisher is going to come back out, but Righetti is looming in the background to try to close it out if need be. But right now, with the right-handers coming up, Yount and Deere, 2 of the 3 are right-handed. They're going to stick with Brian Fisher. Fisher only faced 3 batters, so he's okay. And he's got a 4-2 lead to protect, facing Robin Yount. Hello, Peter. How you doing? Robin Yount. 7 is tough. 25 struck him out. So Fisher doing a whale of a job. in relief. That brings up Mr. Robideau, who made that big error that allowed that fourth run to come in. Might be a big factor allowing that run to come in. 7 is tough. 62, that's going to be a fly to left. So 2 up and 2 down. Looks like Fisher will pitch the 8th and Righetti will pitch the 9th. Here's Rob Deere. I'm not sure what the Brewers are going to do in the 9th. They might go to Plesac. That's a 5, which is in play. 21, so that will be a... No, it won't. Yes, it will. 22, right here. It's a base hit. So Rob Deere, a 2-out single for Deere. And he is the tying run is now coming to the plate, I should say, in Ernest Riles. So do the Yankees with a lefty coming up, do they make the move now to Righetti? I think they're going to let Fisher... He's been pitching well, so they're going to let him face Riles. Riles not really a home run threat per se. That's a 3, which is in play. 48, and he's out of there. 48 is going to be a ground ball to first. Mattingly takes it to the bag himself, and the inning is over. So we go to the 9th. Yankees protecting a 4-2 lead. And it looks like Plesac will be coming on to pitch for the Brewers in the top of the 9th, as Mark Clear just got beat around quite a bit. So Dan Plesac will come on. 10-7, 2.97 ERA and 14 saves. Kind of split the closer duty with Clear. And Righetti is already loosening in the Yankee bullpen. He's ready to go in the 9th, unless the Yankees blow it open and it's not a save anymore. But for right now, it still is. Mike Fischlin, the batter, against Plesac to lead off the top of the 9th. It'll be Fischlin, Henderson, and Randolph. That's an 8, which is tough. 81. And how about that? A strikeout. His strikeout goes all the way to 89. So Plesac with the whiff gets Fischlin. And that brings up Ricky. Ricky homered and singled his first 2 times up, but has struck out the last 2 times. 10, ballpark. 10, that's the wheelhouse. We're back in Ricky's wheelhouse once again. 1-41, and he goes deep. 84, though, is out of range. It's going to be a ground ball to short. So Plesac threw it in there in the wheelhouse, but Henderson just missed it. And instead just hits a ground out to Ernest Riles. 2 down for Willie Randolph. Base is clear. 7 is tough. 53. And that's going to be a ground ball to third, handled by Molitor to end the inning. So the Yankees get nothing in the top of the 9th, but now we go to the bottom of the 9th. And the Brewers will need 2 runs, and they'll have to do it against the guy who I believe led the league in saves. If he didn't lead it, he was close to it. And that is Mr. Righetti. On the 86th season, Dave Righetti. 8-8, 2.45 ERA and 46 saves. I'm pretty sure 46 saves led the league. Almost positive of that. So Righetti is in. They only got Whitson and Scurry in the bullpen left, but I don't think they care because they figure they got it straight. They got the guy they want in there, and that is Mr. Righetti. And he'll be facing the schedule here is of Gantner, Moore, and Molitor. On the bench for the Brewers, they do have Felder, Castillo, a couple switch hitters that could do something. So they're going to pinch hit for Gantner. Gantner only hit .219 against the lefties, so they're going to pinch hit for Gantner. And they're going to go to, let's see who they want to go to here. They're going to go to Mike Felder. And somewhat of an anomaly in 44 at-bats against lefties. He hit .409 as a switch hitter, much better against the lefties. So Felder will come on and pinch hit for Gantner. And if it goes extra innings, they'll have Castillo come and play second base. But right now they need offense, and Felder's their best chance. So Mike Felder, again, a .409 hitter in 44 at-bats, but he's got the tough Righetti to deal with. That's a 9, which is tough. 36 Out of range, 36 will be a ground ball right back to Rigetti for an easy play. One down, and here comes Charlie Moore. He hit 283 against the left-handers, so he's still got a chance to do something. That's a 5, which is in play, but a 50 is too high for that. 50 is going to be a ground ball to Mattingly. Takes it to the bag himself, 2 down, and we're down to Paul Molitor. Last chance for the Brew Crew. If not, it'll be the Yankees with a 4-2 victory. Rigetti, 6 is tough. 94, that's way out of range. 94 is a fly to left. And there's your ball game. A rare 1-2-3 ninth inning. Just like RJL says on his channel, you don't usually get a 1-2-3 final inning. But we get it here, courtesy of Rigetti. And your ball game is over. Yankees win. Yankees win. The Yankees win. 4-2 over the Brew Crew. And we'll give the totals here in just a moment as the Yankees hang on and beat the Brew Crew 4-2 with that 3-run eighth. And the big killer was, well, Easler, the pinch hit single was the game winner. That 2-run single, pinch hit single. That was the big play. And then the error on Robideau allowed the extra run just to give him insurance. So, but Henderson started off the game with a home run and kind of set the tone. But the Yankees did have to fight back and get the win. Let's see it. Check their hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got them for 7 hits. So we got 4 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The Brew Crew had 2 big errors. That was part of their problem. And they were all back. They were both back to back. How that happened like that. The Brew Crew for their runs, they had 2. Check their hits. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got them for 8 hits. Left on base, Yankees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Left 7 on base. And the Brewers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They left 8 on base. So there is your final score from County Stadium. And the player of the game is the hitman, Mike Easler. His 2-run single took care of business and allowed the Yankees to get the victory by the score of 4-2. Winning pitcher was actually, let's see who the winning pitcher was. It looks like it was Fisher because he was pitching, I believe he came in the 7th. Yep, he came in, so Fisher gets the win. Losing pitcher, let's see, Higuera, I think, took the loss. Yep, he allowed the 3rd run. So 3 of the 4 runs were charged to him. So Higuera took the loss. He drops to 1-2 on the season. I'm not sure what Fisher's record is. Probably not much since he's a relief pitcher. So Yankee fans will be happy. Yankee haters will groan. But that's just the way it works out. The dice have a mind of their own, and who knows what they're liable to do. Hopefully this first voyage of payoff pitch that I've done on the video for a while didn't turn out too badly. If you're curious at looking at my messy score sheet, there it is. I didn't finish writing everything in. It was pretty messy, but the big 2-run single from Mike Easler did it. Drove in Fischlin and Randolph. And then the error on Robideau allowed Mattingly to score to give him that 3rd and final run to win it by the score of 4-2. Yankees improved to 7-3. Brewers dropped to 4-6. Again, it's still very, very early. All right, so hopefully I didn't screw anything up here on the rules. Use the charts. I said a lot of people like to use the fast action cards. I mean, they're okay. I'll use them once in a while, but I was in the mood just to use the charts today. Besides, I'm not sure the fast action cards. I was trying to figure out all my setup here. Where in the world would I put these things to have them fit? I guess I could, I don't know. It would be a tight fit. So that's why I use the charts. Next week, as RJL just mentioned, next week it will be Stratomatic Super Advanced. We'll be at Tiger Stadium. It'll be the Chicago White Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. Walt Terrell on the mound for the Tigers, and lefty Floyd Bannister on the mound for the White Sox. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation. I appreciate all you guys spending part of your Saturday afternoon with me. I've got some chores I got to get done myself, so had my fun for about an hour and a half. Now it's time to actually do some work around the house, get some things done, clean some things up, and then I can enjoy the rest of the evening. I might even watch some of that USFL game just for about 5 minutes, just to see what it's like. I remember it from the 80s when I was growing up. It was kind of a unique thing, so we'll see how it goes there. I may be able to sneak in a game of demolition during the week. Each team has played 9 games. I'm sorry, not 9 games. Each team has played, let me pull it out here. I think each team has played, I'm at game, I think I'm 90. Am I at 90? Let me think. No, I'm not quite at, yeah, I am at 90. Never mind. I am at 90. Each team has played 18 games. So 90 is the 1/3 mark of the season. So I've kind of taken a little break with the 1/3 mark, getting everything lined up to get ready to go for Series 7. The first game in Series 7 will feature the Mets. It's going to be the Diamondbacks at Citi Field to take on the Mets. Not sure of the pitching matchup just yet without looking, but that's what the next game on the Stratomatic Demolition League, which is advanced only. But next week it is super advanced. White Sox visiting Detroit. And then the following week we will be at Status Pro. Status Pro Basic. I mean, it's the most basic version of Status Pro. It's the one I had back when I was a kid. And that's what we're using. So everything's very much basic. Nothing new and fancy, just the basic. And that will be the Oakland A's and their young slugger Jose Canseco taking on the Boston Red Sox at Fenway. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. Be sure to check out RJL tonight for his 1979 Pirates at Cardinals. And check out Sports Time Machine. I'm not sure what he's got on his channel next. But check out any of those content creators out there and support them. And until next time, I will see you all down the road. Have a happy Saturday, everybody, and a happy Easter, happy Passover, whichever you celebrate. Have a good day, everybody.